Hello learners, welcome to the wonderful world of English language classroom. Learners, this is language for purposes, functional English. Learners, here we learn to use language for day to day purposes and academic purposes. We have discussed this in our previous episodes. Today in this episode, episode 10 learners, we learn how people agree with one another in a conversation on a point. Learners, to discuss and to do this function agreeing in English language, we have with you Astha. Astha, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Learners, we feel you also do well. Learners, let's together notice how people use language to agree with someone, and of course, one or two points of disagreement also with someone. This is what language is used.
Sir, I had a question for you. So, you mentioned that this is language for purposes. What does that actually mean?
I also said language for purposes and functional English. Okay, come on, learners, this is for you also. She has asked the right question at the right point of time. Okay, now look at it. What purposes, what for we use language? We are talking, we are conversing, we are dialoguing. Of course, learners are also there. So, it is kind of a conversation, we assume that they are there and they also talk to us. Okay. Otherwise, two people we are dialoguing.
Yes, sir.
So, we dialogue.
Yes, sir.
So, why do we do this?
Sir, to put our point across
Okay.
or to express ourselves.
Okay. Then we communicate
Yes,
with
sir.
each other.
Yes, sir.
Then what do we communicate? What
Sir,
we exchange? What we dialogue? Some
Sir,
ideas?
yeah,
You
our
asked a
point.
question.
Yes, sir.
That was there. So,
Yes, sir.
that's the purpose of it.
Yes, sir.
That's why, Astha, of course, learners, language is actually used for some purpose, some function in society, in official or cultural social settings. That is what we call it language purposes. Then today we do agreeing, how people agree with that. You say that, sir, I do not agree with you, I agree with you. No, you are absolutely right. These are all purpose.
Yes, sir.
So, no language is delivered, spoken, performed, to use the Chomskyan term language performance, without any purpose. So, that is what language. I think, have I convinced you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that's great. Let us now watch the conversation. Megha, Swati and Akash, they converse, and as you watch, Astha, you also notice what phrases, words they use in order to agree with their friends or with a friend or with an idea. So, we will come back to you when you have watched this in order to analyze how they use agreeing phrases and words. Ready?
All right, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine, let us watch it.
वह अभी 6 महीने ही हुए थे.
Hey Swati, hey Akash.
Hey
Hi,
Megha.
Listen,
Yes.
what do you think about the dual degree program which universities offer as they implement the national education policy?
I think it would be useful for the students.
I also think it would benefit students.
I also feel the same.
And dual degree program would help the student to find jobs.
That's a good point.
So true.
And another point is that a student would develop professional and life skills.
I'm sure you are right.
That's my opinion too.
So Megha, would you go for the dual degree program?
Sure, I would take one social science and one computer application based course.
Nice.
I think you should go for such a combination.
I think you are right, Swati. This will make her pursue her interest as well as immediate job oriented course.
Yes, you are right. And I'm so happy that you agree with my decision.
I am also thinking of taking one mathematics degree and another in visual communication. If such combination is offered.
That makes sense to me.
I feel that way too.
Let's see which university we get to do our courses.
I think you both are right. But don't you think it depends on the university you get into?
Yeah,
Let's hope for the best.
correct. Okay, guys, I'll leave.
Okay, Megha.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Learners, how was the conversation? Did you notice anything on agreeing or disagreeing? Okay, let me also ask you, okay, how was the conversation? How did you feel as you watched the conversation?
Sir, I believe it was a good example of daily life conversation.
Okay, it's day to day conversation, but of course, it's not completely social. It was academic also.
Yes, sir.
Okay, learners, let us take to say inch by inch, literally, not in the real sense, and understand some words and phrases, how they use some words and phrases in order to convey the function, that is agreeing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me ask you, learners, I am asking you, of course, Asta is with me, so I am asking Asta. Asta, how Megha started her, what did she say?
So, sir, the conversation began by the three people greeting each other.
Fine.
And then Megha asks a question about the dual degree course.
Okay. Then what did Akash reply?
Sir, Akash replies by, saying that it would be good for students.
It would be useful.
Yes, sir.
Learners noticed it would be useful.
Yes, sir.
So, he is in agreement with Megha.
Megha.
Then what did Swati reply?
Sir, Swati also agrees by saying, I also think it would be
Okay,
beneficial.
I also think it would be beneficial.
Yeah.
So, this is what the first what's a chunk of the conversation went, first part of the conversation. Did you notice anything agreeing, disagreeing, some kind of what's that? Some kind of affirmation.
Yes,
So,
sir.
what is an affirmation?
So, sir, there are these words of affirmation throughout the conversation. So,
Suppose you
phrases,
say, yeah, phrases. Okay.
phrases like I would, it would be good,
Oh, that's
or I also agree.
So,
or-
this is someone says Megha said something, then Akash added something, or it would. So, he is affirming her idea. This is what agreement is, affirming,
Yes.
accepting. That is what. Come on, learners, let us watch that chunk.
Listen,
Yes.
what do you think about the dual degree program which universities offer as they implement the national education policy?
I think it would be useful for the students.
I also think it would benefit students.
I also feel the same.
Asta, Akash takes the conversation further.
Yes, sir.
What does he say?
Sir, he mentions another point that the course will help students with professional and life skills.
Okay, they get jobs.
Yes, sir.
Find the other skills. Then what were their reply? First Megha,
So, sir, Megha says that she also thinks that he is right.
he is right, and Swati says that that's a good point.
Yes.
Okay, that's what. So, learners, these are all in agreement. As we speak in a conversation, we say that I agree with you is point blank, openly saying. Then we can also say indirectly, that's a good point. You make a case for
Yes, sir.
for your argument. Then I agree with you, of course. I suggest you. This is how learners, a conversation goes on. Come on, let's watch this bit of the conversation so that we understand it, how they use it. And Asta, we also should tell the learners that how their body language, the way they use,
Yes,
they
sir.
move their hands, and of course they move their face, things like that, and the emotions also add to the conversation.
Yes, sir.
Then we can't be getting angry then agreeing with somebody.
Yes, sir.
And you should actually disagree on that point, on that occasion. So let's watch it.
So, Megha, would you go for the dual degree program?
Sure, I would take one social science and one computer application based course.
Nice.
I think you should go for such a combination.
I think you are right, Swati. This will make her pursue her interest as well as immediate job oriented course.
Yes, you are right. And I'm so happy that you agree with my decision.
Learners, that was the chunk of agreement. Let's move further. I'll ask you, okay, let me ask Asta. So, what does Akash say now?
So sir, Akash then asks Megha if she would take the course.
Okay. Then for which what Megha says?
Sir, Megha agrees that she will take the course, and she then mentions the subjects that she'll be
computer
taking.
science and
Yes,
one social science or something like
Yes,
that.
sir.
Okay. So, before you watch it, this last chunk, let us look at it. All of them are using a congenial language.
Yes, sir.
Even at one point of time, Akash was in disagreement with
Yes, sir.
Swati.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere I think somewhere, but at the same time, but he uses the politer way of conveying things. So, but even that disagreement, there is an agreement.
Yes, sir.
So, that's what we say. Sometimes we say that as we agree to disagree with
Yes,
you
sir.
on political and other ideological things. So, now look at all these three people.
Yes, sir.
In their words, some idea is coming up, then people agree.
Yes, sir.
Then someone else, as you use the word affirmation.
Yes, sir.
This is how an agreement, an agreeing conversation in which people are in agreement with. It may happen in a dialogue, two people dialoguing,
Yes, sir.
or 3 people or 5 people, 10 people. You must have watched, you must be watching a lot of television shows in which talk shows, of course, they are much more noisier, but however, how people agree and disagree with. This is what learners we should be learning in our classroom, in our conversations. We call it fluency and accuracy, that means correctness. Another is the how comfortable I am speaking with the emotions, body language. So, all these matter.
Yes, sir.
Learners, this chunk also you watch.
Yes.
We will come back to close it and give you some assignments, some work, so that you can carry forward.
Yes.
I am also thinking of taking one mathematics degree and another in visual communication. If such combination is offered.
That makes sense to me.
I feel that way too.
Let's see which university we get to do our courses.
I think you both are right, but don't you think it depends on the university you get into?
Yeah,
Let's hope for the best.
correct. Okay, guys, I'll leave.
Okay, Megha.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Learners, that was the conversation and later discussion on the conversation to learn to notice how people agree with one another in a conversation. Okay, Asta,
Yes,
I am
sir.
going to ask you,
Yes,
even
sir.
though I shouldn't be asking you learners and you, what was the learning from this discussion and of course, the having watched the conversation?
So, sir, we obviously talked about how a conversation goes where 3 people are agreeing with one another, and we also learned about words and phrases of affirmation.
How to use it. Learners, this is what we want. I hope that you also have noticed and learned some of the things of would. I agree with you, that is a good point, many more things.
Yes.
And there are many more things we will come in the further episodes. Learners, let me give you a small piece of work, maybe homework, classwork, whatever you call it. Okay. Create a conversation like this in a context, in a situation. What can be the situation? Let us say that your teacher has given a homework or something in which you have different opinions and some people agree, some do not agree. Can you create such a dialogue? Or you may create a dialogue in your home situation with your siblings, with your brother, sister, or even parents. Some of the things you agree when they suggest, some you do not agree. So, do that, keep doing it and keep conversing in English language, and of course, in our language. Conversation in any language is important. Once you become a good communicator, then you can win the world. You can become political leaders, you can become a good teacher, good scientist, anything, and actor, of course. So, learners, keep watching Language for Purposes, Functional English, and keep conversing. We will come back to you with another episode of Language for Purposes, Functional English. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Let me thank Asta for your participation.
Thank you, sir.